Welcome to the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show, Friday, July 30th, a crazy, manic MLB Trade Deadline Day version of the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. Deals left and right, front and center, as teams basically, it's like an arms race, like in the wartime days. You know, everybody's just trying to get as much artillery as they can for a shot at the playoff run and a World Series run. And we have seen many teams stock up today, trying to make that push for October baseball and the postseason in a couple of months. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, and usually our Thursday guest couldn't make it yesterday, decided to come on today instead, and actually a better day for him to join us, Jose Bouquett, on this crazy trade deadline day. Of course, you know this show is one where we break down every single game from a betting perspective, and yes, we will do that at some point later in the show. But first, we're going to talk a little about these deals that have gone down, specifically the last 24 hours. In fact, we can start pretty much last night and some of the things that we saw. I've got to start with the Scherzer and the Turner stuff going to the Dodgers. When we were on the air, Connor and I yesterday, all the reporting was that he was going to the San Diego Padres, Max Scherzer. That was a black eye and a bad day for the integrity of Major League Baseball reporting and these insiders across the board. Simple as that. I mean, everybody known to man had him going to Max Scherzer to the San Diego Padres earlier in the day. And sure enough, that didn't happen. And next thing you know, him and Turner end up being in agreement with the Dodgers to go to L.A. And say what you would. So bad job by the reporting. But from a Dodgers perspective, parted with a lot, no question, for that deal to get Scherzer and Turner. But if you're the LA Dodgers, you're already spending a shit ton of money. You know, your payroll is astronomical. Well, there's no holding back now. If you can bring in Max Scherzer and you can bring in Trey Turner, you do it. And that's exactly what they did. So that got really the festivities going big time yesterday. We also had, of course, two big moves by the Yankees yesterday as well. Well, Joey Gallo a couple days ago. And then yesterday, Anthony Rizzo moved to the New York Yankees from the Cubs. So big deals there. And now we turn to today, where we've had a few big deals that have been named. Certainly earlier today, it was the Toronto Blue Jays getting Jose Barrios from the Minnesota Twins. Desperately needed front-line starting rotation pitcher for this Jays team. And yeah, they paid a lot. They gave up Simeon Woods Richardson, who, by the way, and people just worried about what they gave up, the Blue Jays, to get Barrios. First of all, Barrios is a frontline starting pitcher. He's an established talent in the major leagues, established major league pitcher. When you give up prospects to get guys that are established and can help you now, you know what they're all about. You know the guy can pitch, Barrios. You know what he's done in the last few years. You know he's quality. You don't know anything about Austin Martin yet. You don't know anything about Simeon Woods Richardson yet. And if you're paying attention, you'll see that Woods Richardson has a 5 ERA this month in Double-A. You know, he's not pitching well there right now for them. And if you know anything about the depth in the organization, you know the Jays are stocked at shortstop. You know, with Bo Bichette, they've got a couple other prospects for that position that are playing well in the minors. You know, yeah, Austin Martin could be great, but guess what? They're stacked at that position. They could afford to part ways with him. So I didn't hate the fact that they gave up what they did to get Barrios, you know, a very good pitcher. And they desperately needed starting pitching help. And you could say they could have gotten Scherzer for what they gave the Twins, but Scherzer's older. Scherzer is not under control beyond this year. Barrios is. Barrios is under contract till the end of next season. So I think that definitely was good for the Blue Jays in making that move. So I like that move. How about what the Mets did? Bringing in Javier Baez from the Chicago Cubs. Outstanding. And you think about the fact that he'll play short until Lindor's ready to come back. And then he's more than happy to play second base when Lindor does come back. He's even said it. He would do anything to play with Lindor. They're good buddies. They're back to their high school days. And now could you think of the fact that the Mets, with that middle infield potential of Lindor and Baez playing together, how good could that be for this Mets team? I mean, you talk about good defense. You talk about an automatic out maybe when the ground ball is hit to either one of those guys. You think about how good that's going to make this New York Mets team. Nice job by them getting Javier Baez. White Sox bolstering a bullpen that's been somewhat disappointing. Not somewhat, it has been disappointing this year. Bringing in Craig Kimbrell from the Chicago Cubs. Again, we talked about the Mets getting not just Baez, but Trevor Williams, the pitcher, as well from the Cubs. And, of course, the one that just broke a few minutes ago, One of the bigger ones for sure, San Francisco Giants getting Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs as well. So obviously another big bat. I think that's the one thing they wanted to add is another big bat. Not that they don't have confidence in Flores and Solano and Posey and Yastrzemski and a lot of these batters that they already have, but adding Bryant was huge for the San Francisco Giants because I think they want just a little bit more pop in that lineup, and boy, they're going to have it now with Chris Bryant. So nice job by the San Francisco Giants. I like what Oakland has done here in this trade deadline as well. A little bit flying under the radar a bit more, but they've made some nice moves. Marte, among others, bringing them in for this Oakland team. So a lot of teams making moves. Definitely, no question about that. Going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Now you've got to put these pieces on the field and hope they help you and that you can win with them. But certainly a lot of different teams. And the Red Sox, Jose's Red Sox, one of the quieter teams for someone that's in contention. Kyle Schwarber was really their big addition prior to the trade, at least unless something filters through in a few minutes after the deadline. But not that it wasn't a good move, but I would have expected the Red Sox to be a little bit more aggressive. They weren't, but still nice move bringing in Schwarber. But deals galore. Conor Mac, we'll start with you. Just some thoughts. You don't have to mention every deal, but just some of the deals that you've seen the last 24 hours that stick out to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to all the small deals. I think Yankees, Gallo and Rizzo, I still don't think it helps out their pitching and their back end with Chapman, but we'll see. Red Sox with Schwarber. The Dodgers, yeah, what a crazy thing. We all thought it was Padres. The Dodgers swoop in. I think they got it just to steal, the Dodgers. I mean, with Scherzer and Turner. I mean, Ruiz wasn't going to play because of Will Smith. They did get rid of a few other guys, Josiah Gray. So I think the Dodgers won out there, and they get another bat in Turner, who's just 28 years old. Either they can use here or they don't need to sign him, but they'll get to use him at least this half of baseball. So more bats for the Dodgers. And then the big one at the end, Berrios to the Blue Jays. We'll see if that does anything. Can they get to the playoffs, make a run? The starting pitcher there. And in the end is the Giants. You thought this team would be, wanting to get guys that they probably weren't going to be in this position. They were, and they went out and got the big stick in Chris Bryant, and the Cubs just unloaded everybody. Rizzo, Baez, Bryant, all three gone. Man, they are going into a whole nother direction, are the Chicago Cubs.
Josh Harrison and Yan Gomes as well from the Nationals for that Oakland team. Like I say, these are under the radar. These aren't the absolute biggest names. But
Kyle
Harrison,
Gibson,
Gomes, Marte, that's a better lineup now. There's no question about it, this Oakland team. Great, and they didn't have to pay as much as some other teams did. Great managing, great general managing by the Oakland Athletics right there. I thought they did a nice job under the radar, no question. Jose, what are your thoughts here? Crazy last 24 to 48 hours.
It has been indeed. Man, I don't even know where to begin, honestly. This has been the craziest trade deadline we've had in the last couple of years. Shout out to Matthew Russell. I have been calling for the Cubs to tank it and sell it off for weeks, and they did it. They did everything. Some of the moves, I like, for example, I'm going to sound like an asshole here, but the Yankees made all those moves to just finish in third place and probably not make the playoffs. I mean, their biggest need is pitching, and they got Andrew Heaney, a fly ball pitcher who gets crushed in Yankee Stadium. I distinctly remember all three of us were here speaking about how we'd want to bet against Heaney in New York. So I don't love those moves that much, but Anthony Rizzo is such a culture changer that scares the hell out of me from a Red Sox perspective. Jose Barrios, I really wanted him on the Red Sox. Plain and simple. I really wanted the Red Sox to go get another pitcher, a starter, Hansel Roberto, whatever his name is. I forgot his name already, but
Hanser Alberto, yeah.
There we go. Just traded to the Red Sox. Cool, awesome reliever, and they get Kyle Schwarber, who's hurt, won't come back until the playoffs. Which the Red Sox weren't supposed to be here, so I'm perfectly, I'm annoyed, but it's fine. I think the most important deals that we haven't talked about and the deals that have made me reconsider my futures, the White Sox. Craig Kimbrell to the White Sox is crazy. Their bullpen is loaded. They've got some other guys in there. They added some bullpen arms, and that was their weakness coming into the year. And now it's honestly a strength. It's absolutely crazy. And I think I'll probably be putting in some White Sox futures tomorrow morning. I think that they have really vaulted themselves up. The Astros, if we're doing winners and losers real fast, we can call the Astros losers. They got some bullpen arms, but didn't get anyone major, not a Craig Kimbrell.
They should have gotten another starter, I think. Can you trust Valdez? Can you trust Luis Garcia and these guys that have kind of gone backward a little bit these last few starts for them?
Wow. And Jorge,
can he hold up? I mean,
Jorge Soler just got traded to the Braves. That's another interesting, another big bat. I don't know where the fuck he's gonna play because he's a DH, but
yes,
it's really crazy though that this has been the most exciting trade deadline in the last couple of years. A lot of big moves, and we can talk about briefly the teams that didn't make moves, like the Rockies, poverty franchise, sell the team. Like, oh my gosh, they don't trade Trevor Story, they don't trade John Gray, they don't trade Marquez. They're going to lose at least, I would say, 2 of those guys, free agents next year. And then they'll get like a draft pick. Cool. You could at least stock up with some prospects. You get nothing for them. And it's really sad to see.
That front office is horrible for doing that.
It really is. It's awful.
It's just horrible. Those probably guys are going to walk, like you said, and they're not getting anything back is bad.
They did the exact opposite. They sold Arenado. They got the backlash from the Arenado deal. They didn't like the backlash because they look like assholes, and then just completely fucked it again with Trevor Story here.
Yeah, that's right. They've definitely had some areas of mismanagement, this Colorado Rockies front office, and I'm just surprised. Like, you're in a rebuild situation, you got to get assets. Got to get assets for what you've got available for other teams. Trevor Story can help a ball club right now. Herman Marquez, John Gray, guys like this, they can help other teams. And the fact that you've missed out on getting good assets for those guys, you're just basically prolonging your rebuild another 2-3 years by doing this. That's essentially what you're doing. Like, you're not really speeding along the rebuild or keeping the wheels moving, if you will. You're not when you're just standing pat like this. I don't know what, and to Andrew's point in our chat, I don't know what the St. Louis Cardinals are doing. Like, they're 7.5 out of the wild card. Like, you're going to acquire 2 old has-been, over the hill shit starting pitchers and Jay Happ and John Lester. What the hell is the point of that? I mean,
so bad.
What is with that? I mean, geez. I mean, you're buying old guys that can't pitch, and you're acting like you're buying like you're in the playoff chase. You're not. You're 7.5 games back. And not only are you trying to add to your team, you're adding shit parts. It's like getting a muffler that doesn't work for your car. That's essentially what getting Jay Happ and John Lester does for your team. I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, what are you thinking there if you're the Cardinals? I'm mind-boggling. Not only that they added, because they're not close enough to the playoffs to be buyers, but that's the 2 guys you add? That's the 2 guys you get?
So hold on. So this might be a transition to our first game, but there apparently I just saw a picture on Twitter of the Cubs warming up. There's barely half of them there. Who's playing tonight? Who we calling up? How are we getting guys there? Yeah. They literally lost their whole infield. Everyone in their starting infield is gone, and Nico Horner, not traded, goes on the IL. So what are we doing? I mean, I could say the same for the Nats, but I mean, at least the Nats knew that their guys were gone like yesterday. Right. They knew that Trey Turner and Scherzer were gone. I mean, Yan Gomes apart and Josh Harrison apart, but at least they're not big names. The Cubs literally lost their whole infield. So, I mean, I don't know if you'll probably not see a line on that game yet, but I mean, the Nationals have to be bet on, I guess.
Well, that's the problem. You got seller versus seller. To be honest with you, that's probably a stay away game for me, personally. I mean, it's not like the Nationals,
Yeah.
didn't decimate their roster too with what they've done. That's a great point. It's a great segue into the point I want to get into before we start getting into each game individually on this Friday card. This is not the night to be like betting 10 games and just firing away at the board. Not at all. Not at all. In fact, this is like a new record for me in terms of number of actual bets I've locked in as of right now. And this is unheard of for 2.5 hours before first pitch. I've locked in 4 bets on this entire card. That's it. I'll give you my leans, I'll give you what I think I would bet or what I kind of like. But in terms of things I've locked in on this card, I've locked in 4 bets altogether. I might add some more, but at this point I may not. Like, that is how dubious it is with who's in, who's out. You got guys that are flying here, flying there, flying all over the country, or should I say the continent in the case of the guys going to the Blue Jays, and you just don't know who's going to be in and who's going to be out and when they're going to get there in time. And obviously it's not quite as smooth sailing to travel now because you're coming off the pandemic. So this is just one of those games where you got to look at lineups. You got to look at starting lineups. You got to have some sort of semblance and idea of who's going to be available, who's going to be in the lineup, who's going to be on the field for these teams tonight. But for that matter, tomorrow as well. There could be still a bunch of question marks tomorrow for those games as well. So this is definitely a tread lightly kind of night for me on the MLB betting board. So with that in mind, let's get to the Friday night betting board. Let's see if we can at least try to find some good spots, good matchups, and good prices. Like I say, I'm tightening the belt tonight. I'm going with a little bit quieter, smaller, lighter card tonight, but still a couple spots that I like, and we will definitely get to them as we go. We will start with the aforementioned game we just talked about, Cubs and Nationals. No line the last I checked on this. Trevor Williams was supposed to be the starting pitcher. Of course, he's been sent to the Philadelphia Phillies. By the way, I didn't mention the Phillies deals because I think they sucked, the deals. Kyle Gibson has got a 7 ERA in his last 3 starts. And I know he had a great first half of the season, but my goodness, he's in bad form right now. The one thing you're going to hope for if you're the Phillies with Gibson, he's going to a National League park. You at least face the pitcher in the 9th spot, shortens the lineup. Maybe it's good for him that's the case. Now going AL to NL. The transition from NL to AL is always more difficult for a pitcher. So that's what you got to hope for. And you got to hope that he finds Kyle Gibson pre-July, when he was pitching really, really well, for the Texas Rangers. But still, I mean, they wanted to go on the cheap, the Phillies, essentially. They didn't want to pay the price that some teams paid for Scherzer, like the Dodgers paid for Scherzer, like the Blue Jays paid for Berrios. So they went on the cheap, and they ended up going for Kyle Gibson. Well, we'll have to wait and see, but I know Kyle Gibson's not been good the last month, and they're going to have to hope he's a lot better moving forward for the Phillies if they're going to try to make a run at the Mets in the NL East. As far as this game goes, I'm going to keep it simple. There's no need to go on and on for me when I'm not even going to come close or even entertain a bet on this game. I'm totally staying out of it. We've seen the Cubs trade away Rizzo and Bryant and Baez, and now Williams is gone. We don't know who's going to start for them. Nationals have traded away a bunch of guys, of course. Let's not forget who they've gotten rid of as well going into this game. So to me, these are two teams that are sellers. I have no idea where their headspace is at, coming off just hours after the deadline. No need to get involved. Total pass for me. Connor, do you have anything at all whatsoever here? Cubs, Nats.
You just nailed it. You got everything out. That's why I wouldn't want to bet the game. I don't know who's in, who's out. There's no line. But I don't want anything to do with it. Just nothing. Yep. You got anything, Jose?
Easy.
I would bet the Nationals. I have it at -116, but otherwise, no thanks. Just wait for the lineups. We can move on.
Yeah, I mean, lesser of two evils, maybe Washington, because Cubs are just totally decimated. And Washington maybe only somewhat decimated, but still, yeah, it's just stay off it. That's what I'm going to do. I am involved in this next game. Battle of Pennsylvania, Keystone State here, Philadelphia Phillies, Pittsburgh Pirates. We got Vince Velasquez and Will Crowe on the mound here. Phillies -135, road favorite, 9 the total in this one. Give me runs. Give me overs here. First 5 full. I'm doubling up on the over in this game. First 5 over, for full game over here. These two gas cans, Velasquez has gone downhill the last few starts, 5.54 ERA. Will Crowe, 5.89 ERA. He hasn't been someone I've been looking to bet on. Pirates have hit a little better lately. We know the Phillies lineup, is a lineup that should be able to do damage here against Will Crow and the Pirates bullpen, which has given up runs. They had a really bad series pitching against Milwaukee. I see it continuing here for the Pirates pitching, struggling once again here against the Phillies. I think runs both ways here. So I like over first 5, over full game as well. Phillies and Pirates. Conor Mac, what do you think here?
Yeah, this game, I hate to do it. Just Pirates can't score many runs lately. Crow's been all right. His last start, he's all right. Seems like he can go 4 2/3 and give up anywhere from 2 to 5. Unless he, one day, back in June he gave up 8. But I'd be on the Phillies here, -130, maybe even run line. You mentioned it, the first 5 over with these two pitchers. I even have 4.5. It is -130. That juice is high. I don't take too many of those, but that might be a good look. You mentioned it, Ian, the first 5 over 4.5. And I'd lean over in the game. It's a game I'm off of, but I'd only lean Phillies in this one. Pirates they can't get anything done here lately, so I want nothing to do with them at a short price. They're not 160 or anything. They're only 120 at home, so it's a pass.
All right, so pass, lean to the Phillies, if anything, for Conor Mac. Jose, how about you here in this in-state battle, Phillies and Pirates?
I find these in-state battle games interesting. I don't have anything on it. I would probably go with your over 2 at 9. But otherwise, I'd pass for me. I think you guys said enough about it.
All right, on we go to the return to Canada for Canada's team, the Toronto Blue Jays here against the Kansas City Royals for the first time in 2 years. There will be baseball inside the Rogers Center, formerly known as Sky Dome. I'm dating myself when I throw out Sky Dome. It tells you how old I'm getting when I remember that the original name of the ballpark there when it was opened in 1989.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah, Sky Dome. It was a great name, but then it got corporate, and the corporate sponsors wanted to get involved, and now it's Rogers Center. But great to see it. I mean, and it's going to be like a playoff environment, playoff atmosphere. I have no interest betting against the Jays in this spot tonight. However, it's -225 for this Blue Jays team, and the total's 10.5. And Kansas City's red hot right now, playing very good baseball. And this one of the top prospects in their organization, Daniel Lynch, maybe he figured something out in his last start. Because remember, he was shelled in his first stint with the Royals earlier this season. And then he got sent down because he was so bad, and deservedly so. He deserved to get sent down. He was awful earlier this season for the Royals. But then he was called back up. He worked on his mechanics. He made some adjustments. They worked with him in the minors. And they called him back up to return to the rotation with KC. Made a start July 25th against Detroit, and he was dominant. Shutout ball in 8 innings, 5 hits, outstanding against Detroit. He would just mowed along. He looked like that Daniel Lynch that people are touting here as one of the best prospects in the Kansas City Royals organization. So that's the issue here. I mean, obviously the Blue Jays are fired up, adrenaline, excitement, energy. That inside that stadium when they get announced to the field, they're doing a big ceremony before the game to welcome them back to Toronto and their home ballpark for the first time since 2019. So it's a big deal tonight. But, man, you're not getting a bargain. That's the point I'm trying to make. You are not getting a bargain with the Blue Jays here, north of -200. So this is a game I'm passing on. Like I thought for sure I'd be on the Jays tonight, but you start to see Kansas City playing better lately. They're in good form. Jays had an easy win last night. Best bet for me on the show with the Jays last night, beating down Boston. But, when I look at this game, it's well priced. Kansas City's playing good. Lynch figured it out his last start. I'm not reluctant to go against the Royals or Lynch after the way he pitched in his last start when they're around a +200 underdog. I'm just not going to do it. So pass for me all around. I'm just going to sit back and watch the Jays return, not get involved. Maybe in game I will, but not before first pitch. What do you think here, Conor Mac, Royals and Jays?
Yeah, Jays, huge price here. There's just no way I could take him at this number. Not Ross Stripling. The team total 5.5 is -135. No way with that either. We'll see how the Jays come out in these big ceremonies. They haven't been there in years. Are they going to come out hot, banging everywhere, runs everywhere, or maybe a little bit cold? I'm not sure. We'll see. The whole thing is with Lynch, I think. is this guy going to pitch well again? I mean, he was really good, dominant, 8 innings, no earned runs against the Tigers. Can he do it again? Royals are red hot. Either I wouldn't take the Jays at this number, couldn't do it. I'd look at the Royals first 5. Getting plus 185. I actually looked at the first 5 under 5.5, but it's tough with these two pitchers and these two offenses, especially the Jays. They're starting to heat up. They scored a ton of runs yesterday, but tricky spot. So it was a stay off for me as well.
Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind, they got in late last night from Boston, and they got to the stadium very early this morning. So you got to believe these Blue Jay players are running on no sleep or very little sleep last night. So, this is when adrenaline kicks in. So it's something to keep in mind. We'll have to see, but, it's just well priced. I mean, you're not getting a bargain here, bottom line. And Stripling, you're right, has not been as effective lately for the Blue Jays. It's another thing to throw into the mix here. Jose, Royals, Blue Jays, and the return to Toronto for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I honestly like Kansas City here. I think this a little emotional high gets them through kind of the first couple of innings, and then like you said, they get back from Boston late, first game off a road trip, all that good stuff. I think and plus Kansas City's hot right now. Winners of last 9 of 8, I think someone said, and Daniel Lynch, good prospect, might have figured something out. So give me the Royals today. I'll take him at the underdog price. I'll take him full game plus 200 because the Royals bullpen has not been awful. So I'll roll my dice there. But I also like first 5, plus a half, plus 129. That's probably be the way I'd bet it.
All right, yeah, definitely interested. This is really going to be an even greater test for Lynch. Like, he obviously had his best start by far last time out against Detroit, but now you're on the road, a very revved up Blue Jays team, a very, very potent lineup, very tough place to pitch when you've never pitched there before. That's a hitter's venue, Rogers Center. So this is a good test for the young kid, Daniel Lynch. We'll see how he goes tonight with it. Next up, we've got Baltimore and Detroit. We've got Matt Harvey and Tariq Skubal on the mound here. Detroit minus 150, minus 160 in that range. Home favorites at Comerica Park, 9.5 the total in this one. Matt Harvey's actually pitching really well the last few starts, believe it or not. He has found something, and he's pitched pretty well. Skubal continues to be, for the most part, pretty solid for the Tigers. Had some bumps here and there. 4.42 ERA. This is a game I'm passing on. Like I say, I'm unfortunately going to be Mr. Pass more than I've ever been by far for an MLB closing time show today. But this is a game I'm not involved in. I like Skubal, but I'll respect Harvey enough that he's pitched better in his last couple of starts here for the Orioles. I'm not involved in the side. I don't have much interest in the total. Just the game I'm off. Pretty much. What do you think, Conor Mac, here, Orioles and Tigers?
Similar to me, this is one game. We talked about it yesterday. I didn't bet it live, the end game over. I'm kind of thinking of taking the over before the game here. I haven't bet it yet. Harvey's pitched well those last 2 starts, and he's kind of been money, especially these first 5 unders. I looked at that. Scubal's been good. We got the Tigers, though, laying the minus 150 again. It's just they can't be laying this. I know they got it done the first 5 yesterday. I just can't take a half a run with them consistently here, and that's just too much juice for me. But I'd lean the Tigers again. I like Skubal. Orioles hit lefties a little bit better at times, so I just see runs. I want to get both. These guys give up a couple runs. I want both bullpens. That's why at 9, I'll take the over here.
All right, leaning toward the over. That maybe Harvey's on a 12-inning shutout streak, so it's hard to fathom, but he's gone 6 innings in each of his last 2 starts and hasn't given up a run. So that's why I'm a little bit pumping the brakes here today with over. Like, I was on the over last night. It fell short. I do lean that way here, but I'm going to pump the brakes on it. Jose, what do you think here with Baltimore, Detroit?
I would think I would lean towards Detroit. I don't think Matt Harvey will keep it up. There's still trades trickling in right now. We've got the Pirates starting to sell assets. Bryce Wilson just got traded to the Pirates for Richard Rodriguez. The Red Sox just traded another guy, Michael Chavis, for another reliever from Pittsburgh. This is a pretty crazy day. Then the trade deadlines are still coming in. So, but I guess I'm still rolling with I forgot what game we were on actually now.
Tigers.
The Tigers, Jose, the fucking Tigers.
There we go. Yeah, I'm taking the Tigers.
Don't disrespect Big Show. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I'd never, but I'm on the Tigers today. I'm on Big Show's side. I'm going to ride Big Show's back like a little koala bear.
All right, good stuff. There we go. All right, next up, we've got the Reds and the Mets. Sunny, yesterday my life was filled with rain. Sonny Gray for the Reds. And look who's back for the Mets. Carlos Carrasco, brought in the offseason from the Cleveland Indians. Finally off the IL and finally ready to make his Mets debut tonight for the New York Mets. Is he healthy? If he is, we know he can pitch. The question is he going to be ready to go here for this first start tonight? We've got the Mets minus 135, home favorites at Citi Field. The total 8 across the board. Activated from the IL, making his Mets debut tonight. Should be interesting to see. He's 34 years old now, so he's not exactly a young buck anymore for this Mets team, but he's going to be on some kind of pitch count. That is a certainty. Luis Rojas, the manager, the Mets pretty much said that yesterday that, hey, we're going to monitor his pitch count. He's not going to be totally going out there and throwing big innings here in this start. I have no problem fading Sonny Gray right now. He has been roughed up in his last couple starts. I don't think he's right. I think he's injured. I think he's hiding an injury, or he's got something that's ailing him, shoulder, arm, something is bothering him. I think something that's causing him to be less than 100%. So, and I've faded him a couple of times now. Last start against St. Louis was a disaster. He got roughed up, banged around in that start. He's definitely been trending downward, but I don't think it's all just he's struggling and he's not pitching well. I think a lot of it is there's some kind of injury going on, and I think he's going to hit the injured list pretty soon. Remember, I called this with Max Fried very early in the season when I said that he doesn't look right. I think he's injured. And sure enough, he had a bad start and he went on the IL. I think we're getting close to that time with Sonny Gray right now for the Reds. So this is Mets first 5 for me. I bet the Mets first 5 here, laying the number around minus 140. First 5 innings here with the New York Mets. I think they can get the job done early in the game. I don't, like I say, with Carrasco, yeah, it could be a little bit tricky to back someone that hasn't pitched all year, but I think he can go out there, be decent early on in the game. You could make a case for the over. It's 8. The one thing about the Reds are they have been mashing lately. Even with Carrasco, a capable pitcher back, you don't know necessarily 100% how he's going to fare in this first start. And you got to somehow keep riding the extremely hot bat that is Joey Votto right now for the Cincinnati Reds. We talked about how amazing it's been for him with the home runs that he's had. He's had like a home run in 7 or 8 straight games now. Hard to avoid passing up another Votto home run prop tonight in this game, even though I do like the Mets a little bit here in the first 5 innings. I just think Sonny Gray is just a prime bet against candidate for me because I don't think he's right health-wise. What do you think here, Conor Mac, Reds and Mets?
Yeah, another one. That was a pass for me. I lean the Mets here in this one. Carrasco, the guy had good years in Cleveland. What are we going to get? I just don't touch any of these guys that coming off the IL, and he's coming off being another all year. So, and Sonny Gray, 8 runs his last start. The start before that, Milwaukee went 4 2/3, 5 earned. He's walking guys. He had 4 walks in that game. I just can't take him. I think this is interesting with him not looking so well that he might be injured. Carrasco coming back. I know I love unders here at Citi Field, but that first 5 over 4, minus 105 is kind of interesting. The Reds are swinging it well. We'll see. It's just kind of a lean for me here. So I lean the Mets and the over, especially the first 5 with these 2 pitchers. I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, for Sonny Gray, 13 runs, 14 hits in just the last 8 innings. Okay, let me repeat that. That's 13 runs, 14 hits in the last 8 innings over his last 2 starts. He ain't right. He's going to go on the IL, I think. And I think he's going to struggle again tonight, and then he'll finally go on the IL. So to me, this is a Mets, maybe even a Mets team total. I might put that on the card as well. Mets team total over as well in this one. What do you think here, Jose, with Cincy in New York?
And we're on the same side here. I like that a lot. I like the over, and I like Mets first 5 minus a half. Right now, it's at plus 106 on Pinnacle. You can shop around, maybe get a better line. I think Cookie probably gives us like two innings pitched, and then we'll get some bullpen action. But I think, and I really do think that we'll see Javi Baez tonight. I don't know about you, Ian. I think Javi Baez will be in the lineup tonight, and I would go ahead and bet his player props. He's that kind of guy. He's that flashy guy, loves the spotlight. The Mets are in their black uniforms for the first time this year, and it's for the first time in a long time. I think I can't tell you when's the last time they wore them, but it's been a big deal. So I like the Mets today a lot. I like their first five. I like the first five over, and give you some Javi Baez props today if he plays.
Now, it's getting close to 2 hours away from first pitch for some of these games. So I keep refreshing my screens to see if we get confirmed lineups for some of these teams. And if we get any, I will pass them along for sure. No question about that. But I
specifically think, by the way, that Javi Baez is going to play because Marcus Stroman literally said on Twitter, like, go get this guy PJ and fly him out here. And we all know Steve Cohen has that kind of money too. So,
oh yeah, you can get him there in like an hour, and it's not like Chicago to New York's a big time, strenuous travel or long flight. You can get there pretty quickly. Yeah, the Reds lineup, there's not much to say. It's very similar to their last few games. India, Winker, Farmer, Votto, Naquin, Barnhart. Still no Castellanos, but pretty much the similar lineup they've had the last few days when they played the Cubs at Wrigley. All right, on we go. Yankees and Marlins. Jameson Taillon, Zach Thompson pitching matchup here. We got the Yankees minus 165, minus 170, road favorites, 7.5 the total. This is another pass for me. I know they're going to have Rizzo and Gallo likely available and in the lineup tonight, making their Yankees debuts. You would think, at least, although again, their lineup hasn't been confirmed yet, but they're expected to both be in there and make their debut for the Yankees. But again, I'm with Jose, and I think Connor mentioned it too. They didn't upgrade their pitching. They didn't do anything to address their starting pitching, the New York Yankees. And the bullpens, I don't know, it hasn't been as good this year. They didn't really add too many relievers. They've got some concerns still with their pitching, this Yankees team. And Garrett Cole pitches like he did yesterday against Tampa. Who else can you rely on? You've got Taillon is inconsistent. And Nestor Cortez is just I know you're going to hope to have Severino back at some point, but that's not enough, in my opinion. All this talk now, the Yankees are going to make a charge now, the wild card. Can we see it first? Can we see some pitching? Can we see some offense? Can we see some wins? Like, holy gosh, guys, we're calm down. Holy mackerel, there's people on Twitter. We're going to make this run. We're a playoff team now. Shut up. Win some games first. Show you can manage properly if you're Aaron Boone. Like, do some things that actually put some belief in people's minds that you can make a run before we just all of a sudden say, yep, Yankees, here they go. Going to be a playoff team now. Can we see them have some success first? That's all I'm asking here. But this game, I'm off it completely, not involved. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Yankees and Marlins.
Yeah, this is one I don't want a part of. Taillon, don't want him, and don't want him minus 160 on the road. I'd actually be on the Marlins if I had to play this one. I'd lean their way, the home dog here. Yeah, can Rizzo and Gallo start doing something early? Because the Yankees can't hit right-handed pitching. And obviously it shows. The first five's 4. So are they going to come in and mash? I don't know. It's a game I want nothing a part of. But I'd lean Marlins here, getting around plus 150 full game.
Crazy it is to say. That's Thompson's been good. I mean, it's a very good ERA. So I understand why you're tempted by the Marlins. I am as well. I would only look Marlins here, but I'm going to stay off. The Yankees will be fired up. And look, they got the snot kicked out of them yesterday by Tampa. They got their new additions in the lineup today, Rizzo and Gallo probably. So, I just figure they're going to be fired up, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. We know the Yankees could Yankee or stanky, as I say, and maybe find a way to lose. We'll see. Jose, I know that would make Jose very happy. Jose, what do you think here? Yankees and Marlins.
I think the Yankees win tonight, and our good guy Matt Randall, his taint play of the day is Yankees run line, and that's probably where I would go to. I think they win tonight. I think the immediate injection of Anthony Rizzo's just positive vibes into that dugout is going to help it a lot. The Yankee way, all that bullshit is going to go right out the window with Anthony Rizzo. He's going to be out there joking, having fun with everyone, getting the guys going, because that's definitely what they had. This Yankees team, they have talent to be good. They have not been able to put it together. And Ian, I mean, we said it earlier, all these moves just to finish 3rd and 4th place. They didn't add any pitching. But Taillon and Jordan Montgomery are the two guys on this staff where I would bet on. So I feel comfortable today, but we'll see what happens going forward. But I just really can't imagine this Yankees team making the playoffs, like you said.
Yeah, Taillon has been better on the road. You're right. I absolutely would at least trust Taillon a little bit more on the road. The Yankee Stadium numbers have been really rough for him But on the road, he's been a little bit better. We'll see how it goes. By the way, battle for first next up now in the AL East. Definitely one of the premier series this weekend. Boston Red Sox, Tampa Bay Rays. It should be a doozy. Just 2 wins separate these 2 teams. So it should be a great series this weekend. I can't say we're going to see great pitching tonight, though. Mediocre fringe arms on the mound. Josh Fleming for the Rays. Martin Perez here for the Red Sox. Got Tampa Bay around minus 135, home favorites at the Trop. Total 9 across the board. I like runs in this game a little bit. I think we can get over this total. Boston, a big offensive bounce back, I think, for them tonight after getting absolutely drubbed in the final game of that series against the Jays last night at Fenway. I think a bounce back offensively for them tonight in this game is in order. I'm not a big fan of Josh Fleming. Mediocre numbers, 4.07 ERA. Red Sox have hit lefties pretty good for the most part last couple of weeks. On the flip side, Martin Perez, 4.18 ERA. He's actually kind of been like Tyone, where he's been better on the road. Fenway Park really has not been good for him, but maybe on the road he can pitch a little bit better here, but I'm not ready to ever trust Martin Perez to completely shut the door on an opposing lineup, especially one like Tampa Bay that's coming off the kind of shellacking they gave Garrett Cole yesterday. If they're putting up a double-digit spot against the Yankees with Garrett Cole on the mound, they probably have a chance to crack some runs here against Perez and the Red Sox as well. So should be a great series. I'm not involved in the game from a side perspective at all. I might be involved Saturday, Sunday, but not tonight, not with these 2 pitchers. I just don't trust either one. So I'm just going to hope for some runs and bet it that way. So over the total for me with Red Sox and Rays. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Boston, Tampa, first place showdown in the AL East.
Yeah, I think runs could be scored. Perez, like you said, he's been better on the road. Flemington, way better at home. I remember talking about his last start in Cleveland, and he got hit there. 4 innings, 3 runs, but he just gets killed on the road. The guy's unreal at home. And that's why the Rays are minus 135 here. I think runs will be scored. Cruz, real quick, has 8 and up Perez. So is Zunino. 9 for 33 homers, 7 for 24, 3 homers for Zunino. A couple jack of the day guys. I think there's runs, but I'm tempted by the Red Sox at this price, and I'm tempted maybe if you don't want them to win, the team total. I mean, 4.5. They didn't score yesterday. There's a lefty on the mound. The team total over 4.5 plus 115 is kind of calling to me, so I lean that way here.
All right, Jose, here's your chance. Your Red Sox against the Rays. I know you'll be into this.
I will be into this. And guys, I'm going to shock a lot of people. My say-hey play today was the Tampa Bay Rays first 5 team total over 2.5. I think at the time it was like plus 106. I think that the Rays get some runs off of Martin. I like the over today as well. Call me a homer. I think the Red Sox win, but I think runs are going to be scored. And I think a good plus price with the Rays coming off of a great offensive outing. Give me those Rays first 5.
All right, there we go. Rays first 5. For the Rays first 5 team total over 2.5, I should say, for Jose. Milwaukee, Atlanta here. We've got Corbin Burns for the Brewers and Touki Toussaint for sounds like Fruit Loops, Toucan Sam from back in the day. Every time I say Touki Toussaint, but we got Milwaukee here minus 145, minus 150. Road favorites 8.5 the total in this game. I'll tell you what, Touki Toussaint's been good since he's been in this rotation for a few starts now for Atlanta. 1.32 ERA. He's been really solid. Burns, 2.12 ERA. He's really turned it on again. He had a couple of starts, I think, midway through the season where he fell off a bit. But, boy, he got back on the beam very quickly, and he's been good. I don't know, maybe an under early in the game tonight here, Milwaukee and Atlanta, because both of these guys pitching and throwing the ball well right now. Other than I haven't bet the game, don't think I will, but I would lean a little bit here to the under first 5 in this one. Maybe a lean to Milwaukee too. I know Atlanta brought in Soler, but there's no way Soler is going to be in the lineup tonight. Not that quickly. No lineup confirmations here yet. The Brewers, of course, battling it out to try to maintain their hold on the NL Central division. So I guess I would lean Milwaukee, but you're not getting a bargain. I'm talking about minus 150, and Toussaint's been more than good enough where I don't know if I want to go against him at that price. So I lean Milwaukee. I lean first 5 under, but don't know if I'll be involved in this game tonight. Conor Mac, anything here? Brewers and Braves.
Yeah, nothing really on the side. you got to pay the price here with the Brewers on the road. I think there might be a little value on the Braves. Toussaint's been really good those first couple starts. Can he do it again? We'll see. The first 5, I like the under, but it's a lot of places it's dropped to 4 at plus money. So I'd lean the full game under 8.5 here a little bit. The only things holding me back, I like this play. Wind's blowing out. In Atlanta, there's been overs. Their bats can be cold. It's a difficult one for me, but I'm leaning the full game under 8.5 here.
All right, full game under 8.5 for Conor Mac. Willing to
The
include
first 5
those
is
bullpens. Yeah.
The 4.5's gone. That's if you can get a 4.5. First 5, I like it, but a lot of places this time of day, they're gone. They're just 4s.
And the Brewers bullpen is one of the few bullpens in baseball you can rely on them and count on them a little bit more than a lot of other teams. So we'll see if they can keep that going tonight. Jose, what about you? Milwaukee, Atlanta.
This is going to be an interesting game. This team, or I guess this series, could have been a playoff series at the beginning of the year. We all thought it would be, and the Braves kind of fighting to stay afloat. I think it'll be an interesting game to watch for sure. I probably would lean with the Milwaukee Brewers as well. But the Braves coming back, buying in again on this team might give their team some confidence, give them a little boost. Especially losing your all-star center fielder. Teams need that kind of stuff to get through the season. So I slightly lean towards Milwaukee, but a tough game. I'd rather stay off.
Crystal, by the way, in our chat, Crystal Warren had the great quote earlier in the chat there saying the Yankees spent all that money for October baseball watching from home, something along those lines. So that was pretty funny. I think that could very well be the case. I think they've got truly an uphill battle when it comes to making the playoffs, but we'll see how it goes. Seattle and Texas next up. We got Logan Gilbert, Colby Allard, the pitching matchup here. Mariners right now in that minus 160 range as road favorites here in Globe Life Stadium. Total 7.5 across the board. This is definitely a first 5 minus a half a run spot for me, closer to even money on Seattle. I have been riding Logan Gilbert one start after another the last few, and he has been just rock solid and steady for the Mariners. And now you look at this Texas team. Allard's kind of struggled lately, 4.71 ERA. They just traded Gallo and a few other players from their team, Gibson as well. The sell-off clearly on for the Texas Rangers, a 1-13 club in their last 14 games, which is absolutely dreadful. No qualms whatsoever. Seattle here, first 5 minus a half a run. Very simple, better team, lot to play for. Gilbert's been good. Texas is what they are. Sellers just want to get the season done. What do you think here, Conor Mac, Seattle, Texas?
Yeah, I've been right there with Gilbert as well. It's kind of a big number on the road, but the Rangers are this bad. I mean, they can't score runs. So I'm with you. I lean the Mariners first 5 half a run as well. The total's interesting too at 7.5. I would just lean that way here. Allard's been just okay, but he can't win games because they can't hit. No Joey Gallo. So first 5 half a run here. And a guy didn't get traded. Jack of the day guy, Kyle Seager, 4 for 10 with 2 homers off Allard.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to look at. That's a good one, I think, Kyle Seager. He's also hit the ball better lately during this little run that the Mariners have put together. So I definitely could see him cracking Allard a little bit tonight in this one. Jose, anything for you here? Mariners, Rangers.
Weird that we're all on the Mariners. I never thought that it would be a day that we'd all just consensually say, "Yeah, the Mariners have got this one today."
Yeah.
I like the Mariners today as well. Their run line's good at plus 109, like you said. Low total, so Connor, I like your look there. I think mine would be first 5 team total again. You get plus 124 for over 2.5. Get your 3. Hopefully you can get that first 5 win too in there as well. So I'll go with that one.
And by the way, they got what's his name? The bull rider, Toro, Abraham Toro from the Houston Astros on this Seattle team before the deadline. The players were pissed off that they trade. I still am scratching my head that they traded Kendall Graveman, one of their better relievers this year. It left a lot of people upset in that Seattle clubhouse, but They at least went out and they got Diego Castillo after that from the Rays, which kind of was weird because why did you trade Graveman then? And then you ended up getting Castillo. But all's well that ends well. I think the players will put it behind them. I know they were disappointed to see Graveman leave, and he had a really great season for the Mariners. But I think they can put it behind them. And this is their ball club now. And certainly, I expect them to beat Texas here tonight. And certainly, if you're going to hope to make the playoffs and catch Oakland, they're only 2 games behind the Oakland Athletics for that second wild card spot in the American League. You got to beat teams like Texas, and we'll see if Seattle can do that. Cleveland and the White Sox here. Giancarlo Mejia on the mound for the Cleveland Indians. We've got Lance Lynn, the old wily veteran bulldog, on the mound for the Chicago White Sox. White Sox, as you would expect, massive chalk here, north of minus 200 in this game. The total sitting at around 8.5 in this one. It's been one heck of a season, obviously, overall for Lance Lynn. Did anybody, we know Lance Lynn's a capable pitcher. Did any of us think that he would be a sub-2 ERA this season, Lance Lynn, at any point? I definitely can't say that I expected him to be that good, but he has indeed been absolutely terrific for the Chicago White Sox all season long. We'll see how he fares here. Cleveland's obviously a team that's been disappointing this season, underachieving. And speaking of disappointing and underachieving, you definitely have to put Giancarlo Mejia in that department. 7.52 ERA for him since joining this Cleveland rotation. He is 0-4 in the month of July. He has an 11 ERA overall in the last 17 innings. It's been dreadful. This to me is White Sox first 5 is an option for sure. They do play better at home. This is where you want Chicago. I mean, what a pathetic series in Kansas City for this team, especially for their offense. But now they're back home. It's like they're a night and day different ball club when they play at Guaranteed Rate Field in the Windy City. So I'd expect them to win this game here tonight in this one. And you could go first half here, minus a half a run, which is around minus 145, minus 150. I don't like that price enough. What I am going to go with here in this game is the team total for the White Sox instead. 4.5, minus 130. I don't have to worry about, the White Sox pitching or the bullpen or Lynn or anything like that. Not that I have to worry about them because I think Lynn will pitch well, but I'm just going to focus on the White Sox scoring 5 or more runs, which I think they absolutely should be able to do. They're back home. They hit better as a team at home, and they're facing an absolute gas can pitcher. Giancarlo Mejia has been dreadful. So I'm on White Sox team total over 4.5 here. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Cleveland, Chicago.
Yeah, Lance Lynn on the mound. He's been great all year. They're going to have their lineup. They sat a lot of guys yesterday in that game, did the White Sox, so all their stars. So they'll be back in. Mejia, this guy is fade. Every start you go back. He had one start June 24th against the Twins where he gave up 1 run, but it's 6 to Pittsburgh, 6 to Houston, 6 to Tampa, 4 to Houston, 5 to Tampa. It got to be the White Sox. Yeah, team total at 4.5, minus 130. The run line's tricky too. They're at home. You don't get that last at bat. And I don't love taking run lines minus 115. So it's just White Sox team total, but I'm staying off this one.
All right. And an 8.34 ERA on the road for Mejia as well. So there's no stat you can look at with him that's any good right now. Jose, what do you think here? Cleveland and Chicago White Sox.
I'm taking the White Sox money line or run line. I'm sorry. I think this is just a smash spot for the White Sox. They get that momentum going. The team getting some juice from these trade deadline moves is a real thing, and I think reshaping their bullpen has made them into one of the favorites into the AL and World Series. So I'll take minus 1.5, minus 108, no problem.
And Cesar Hernandez, who won't have to travel far from his old team where he was traded to his new team, the Chicago White Sox, he will be in the lineup for the White Sox tonight, batting second. So going to be interesting to see. Right away, he gets to face his old mates there with Cleveland. Next up, we've got Minnesota and St. Louis. Griffin Jacks and Wade LeBlanc on the mound here. St. Louis minus 150. Home favorites in this one. Minus 140, I should say, to minus 145. It has dipped slightly. 8.5 the total in this one. I want no part of the game. None at all. Can't lay this price with LeBlanc. I have no interest laying this price with LeBlanc. We're seeing St. Louis just in that dead zone right now. They're not really completely out of it, but they're not really in it either. They're like a 500 team. They're 7.5 back of the wild card. I'm not laying a price with that or LeBlanc. And at the same point in time, I'm not taking Minnesota for at least not right now until I have a very good reason to take Minnesota. We've seen them just trade off pieces left and right, struggling. Get no pitching at all against Detroit in the series that just completed. Jax is nothing to write home about for the Twins this season, entering this start with a 7 ERA. Pass, maybe Cardinal team total over if I have to throw a lean out there. But other than that, I'm not going to get into this game too much. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Twins, Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this either. Real quick, I'd lean the Cardinals. You could go 140 if you want to bring down this juice. Go first 5, half a run. Jax isn't good. He pitched okay for him. 4 runs. I watched that start against the White Sox, but he's gotten blown up 6-3, 4 his other starts. So yeah, it'd be all Cardinals here or just pass it. Team total as well. It's 4.5 minus 110. With the Cardinals, they got to get 5. So that's the whole thing. They should off Jax and that Twins bad bullpen, but. Yeah,
you don't always get it from the Cardinals. That's always the issue with them. It's just not a given that even against mediocre pitching, they hit it. That's always the issue I have with them. Jose, what about you? Minnesota, St. Louis.
Yeah, this is a stay off game for me. A weird game. Minnesota sold, but I don't think that this team is really in it, so I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, if you could trust either lineup, and look at Minnesota's lineups depleted, like outside of who? Oh my God, I'm looking at the Donaldson really, and Kepler's struggled. He has gone down a bit. Polanco's not been great lately. I mean, that's a light lineup now, Minnesota, after all these moves. So I'm leaning over a little bit with those 2 pitchers, but I'm just going to stay away. 7th inning stretch time now on this Friday edition. We have the 4 late games, the West Coast games still to come, but we thank everybody. 200 live viewers watching the show and in the chat. Hit the like button. Make sure you do it. We appreciate it. Don't ask, don't tail for the $10 donation.
Don't ask.
Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. Lance LaRose, Brian Watson, the Reaper. Don't fear the Reaper. Come on, baby. Don't fear. Little Blue Oyster Cult there. Michael Robertson, a ball. Luke Murphy. I know, great guitar in that word song. There's so many of those old classic rock songs. Great guitars.
More cowbell.
Eric Chang. Yep, exactly. Sabino. Welcome in MMA Locker Room, Michael Robertson, Javier Gonzalez, Joey Harb. Let's see who else. Uncool 22, Ball N, Crystal Warren, Doug Reed, Luke Murphy, Kenny V, Real Deal Prime, Bama Boy, Jake Burns, Oregon 245, Robert Allen. They continue to go down the list here. Great turn at Puzzler. Thank you very much, Robert Salamo. Great turnout of people in our chat today, as usual, but especially on a Friday, 200 live views. We appreciate it. I believe that's everybody. Dollywall Sunny right there. Billy Pilgrim as well. Thanks to everybody in the chat joining us.
Hey, Ian, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Should I ask you my question now, or should I save it for the end of the show? Is a real question. This is another. Okay, so who's kid and play? Who's kid and play? Because Jimmy talked about it earlier today. He was very disappointed. I didn't know who they were. My man Michael Robertson has mentioned them a couple times. I don't know if they're a band. I don't know if it's a movie. I don't know who they are.
I'm stumped on that too, to be honest. Yeah, kid and play. Yeah,
it's a movie.
There you
go.
Yeah, right.
Kid and play.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Yeah.
The guys had the hair, huge, flat top.
Oh,
okay. At a house party.
Yeah,
kid and play.
Right now makes sense. Yeah.
From like 91.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, I didn't know. I'll just get my hair up in the high top for everyone too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it rings a bell. All right. Great stuff. Thanks for clearing that up. Very good.
You got to line
All
it
right.
up.
A's and Angels next up here. Oakland around minus 120. Road favorites 8.5. The total in this one. Bassett. Pretty good, actually. 3.46 ERA. He's had a pretty solid season, but Sandoval's been really good for the Angels. 3.52 ERA going into this start. He's been one of the better starters, really, for the Angels for the last several weeks, Sandoval. So it's Oakland's favored for a reason. They got the second wild card spot. It's a lot to play for. Bassett's been solid though overall. Sandoval though, I'm not in a rush to bet against him with the way he's pitched for the most part for the Angels. Been racking up those strikeouts as well. So this is a game I'm staying off. Oakland and the Angels pass. Not going to get involved with it. Connor, what's your thoughts here? A's Angels.
Yeah, this game is just kind of one on this big card. It's a pass for me as well. I reached last night. I took the A's first 5, and I went with the over as well. That was my only loss. Guess I should have stayed away. Bassett's been good. I mean, all year long, even on the road. Sandoval's had a good start against the A's in Oakland. He just went off almost getting that no-hitter. The A's don't have anything but Ohtani in that lineup, it seems like. It's just a game I'm going to stay away from.
All right, Jose, I know you're you're the president, at least in this channel, of the Shohei Ohtani fan club. What do you think of the Angels tonight against the A's?
Yeah, I think you said it earlier, Ian. The A's really made some good moves to bolster their squad. This is late enough where I think maybe we'll get to see those guys come in and do some damage, maybe in a pinch hitting role or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Give me the A's full game money line, -114 on Pinnacle currently. Pretty cheap.
All right. Very good. All right. Liking the A's -1. I'm sure you'll see Marte. You're probably not going to see Josh Harrison and Gomes, the guys they just got from Washington, but I think you absolutely will see Starling Marte make his Oakland debut tonight after they got him from the Marlins. So that is, I do like what Oakland did at this trade deadline. I think they definitely improved their team, no question. LA Dodgers, Arizona Diamondbacks now next up. Tony Gonsolin, Zach Gallen, the pitching matchup in this one. Dodgers -200, road favorites in the desert, 9 the total, shaded to the over in this one. Tony Gonsolin has actually been pretty darn solid since he's been in the rotation. He's now made 8 starts, since becoming a regular fixture in the rotation for the Dodgers, and he's been pressed into service in the rotation with Kershaw out and with Bauer still serving his absence, team-mandated absence from the team for his issues. And you see Gonsolin, 1-1-1-1-0-1-3-0 is what he's allowed in these 8 starts. Now, he hasn't always pitched deep, but he's starting to get stretched out a bit more. Early on, it was an inning, 2 innings, 3 innings. Lately, 4 innings, 5 innings, 5.1, a season high for him in innings pitched in his last start against the Rockies. So definitely good things from Gonsolin here in a starting role for the Dodgers. On the flip side, you got Zach Gallen, who has made, it looks like 6 starts since rejoining the rotation from the injured list. For the most part, more good than bad, but he's had a couple bad ones. The Giants hit him hard. The Cubs really got to him in his last start at Wrigley Field. 7 runs and just 4 innings for Gallen in that start. He's faced the Dodgers, though, twice last year, and he gave up just 2 runs in 13 innings against the Dodgers, and he shut him out when he faced them at Dodger Stadium. So he actually hasn't pitched that badly against the Dodgers, but I'm just not, after a trade deadline like this and with what the Dodgers acquired, you get the sense that, hey, maybe it's time for them to go on a run here, get excited, have that adrenaline flowing through the clubhouse a little bit. You bring in a Scherzer, you bring in a Trey Turner, you really make big improvements here. Gonsolin's been more than good enough. And given all those elements here, I'm going to pass on this game. I'm tempted by Arizona, but not enough to pull the trigger. I'm going to stay off the game, though. Connor, what about you? Dodgers, D-backs.
Yeah, Tony Gonsolin's been really good. And he gets you about 5 innings. Gallen, who got rocked his last start, I watched it against the Cubs, but he's been pretty good all year. Doesn't show in his record. But, yeah, he's kind of owned the Dodgers over the years. This is a difficult game. Initially, I kind of looked the first 5 under 5. It's -120. But the full game I look over, the Dodgers got shut out yesterday. You got to think they're going to score runs. They always do down there in Arizona. Full game over 9, so it's just contrasting. The Dodgers team totals up to 5.5, -110. Now they got to get 6. I lean that way, but it's just a lean here.
All right, Jose, what do you think here, Dodgers, Diamondbacks?
Yeah, I like the Dodgers tonight. I like the under as well, +104. Something to keep an eye on. Our man Robert right there on Periscope, aka Twitter, asked us what's going on with Bellinger. He's hitting 160. He's been one of the worst hitters in baseball, honestly, for being the MVP. So that's something to keep an eye out on. He's got to come back. If you want your Dodgers futures to hit, he's one of their bigger pieces. But I would look towards the under tonight. I like Gonsolin as well. And man, that just the vibe that Scherzer's going to bring into that dugout. The Dodgers were playing well because they were a talented team, but they'd still, were a little off. They were expected to be that juggernaut squad behind the Giants, their rival. Now with someone like Scherzer coming in, the same thing like Anthony Rizzo. Scherzer's going to do something in that clubhouse too, and especially it'll get the stink off of Bauer too. So I like a lot of that stuff going on over there.
That's another thing too, in terms of getting Scherzer. It's a sign that Bauer may not be back this season. I think it's really starting to look that way. Apparently there's people in the Dodgers clubhouse that say we don't want him after everything that's gone on. We know this guy's a little bit out there. He's a little bit kooky, quirky, all that stuff. He has his own YouTube channel. He does 1 million videos on there in his free time. Maybe get off YouTube, man, and maybe bond with your teammates. How about that? You don't have to do 1 million videos on there. Why don't you go with your teammates, spend some quality time, and get to know one another? But that's him. He beats to his own drum. He's a little bit of an oddball. And now, of course, with this news hitting that he was involved in this allegations here, they're not in a rush to welcome him back with open arms. Let's put it that way. He's not exactly a guy that ingratiates himself in the team and just, he just extends his arms and say, "I love you guys. I want to be part." Like I say, he's a little bit of an odd duck. Let's put it that way. So I think you put everything together, and there's no immediate hurry to bring Bauer back on this team. And I think that's a big part of the reason why they went after Max Scherzer. And, with Kershaw, who knows, when he's back. So they wanted to address starting pitching, and they have, no question about that. Houston and San Francisco, Framber Valdez, Kevin Gausman, the pitching matchup here. We've got the Giants slight home favorites, -130, 7.5 the total in this game. I want to see how Gausman pitches because he has been brilliant, but his last start was not. And was that a one-off? Was that a blip on the radar? Or was that a sign of maybe a downturn in the second half for a guy that's maybe pitched a little over his head? We'll have to wait and see. He has been brilliant this year for the most part, but coming off the start against Pittsburgh where he got walloped, gave up 6 runs, 8 hits, lasted just 4.1 innings. The Pirates crushed the Giants 10-2 in that game. So I'm just going to sit back, see how he pitches here. Framber Valdez kind of had a rougher start or two before his last one against Texas, which was an outstanding start, shutout ball in 6 innings. He did have 6 walks, though. So that's the part of that start that kind of worries you a little bit. His control and command was all over the place. So we'll have to see here. Houston didn't really make any massive moves at the deadline. That could be to their detriment moving forward, but we'll have to wait and see on that. 2 teams with great records. 63 wins for the Astros, 64 wins for the Giants. So should be a really good interleague series here between these 2 teams. I don't bet against the Giants at home very often. The price is still cheap enough on them. I wouldn't go against them here, but I'm not on them either because of what I saw from Gausman in his last start. I want to make sure that is just a one-off, and maybe that's not a start of some struggles and some problems to come. So not involved in the game tonight here, Astros and Giants. Connor, what do you think here? Houston, San Fran.
Yeah, Gausman should bounce back tonight. Valdez had a good start, but it was against the Rangers after he had kind of a rough go there. But he still walked 6. He didn't allow any hits against the Rangers, and that's been his problem. He keeps walking too many people, Valdez. I think the team total for both teams, I know this could be low scoring, but they're interesting both at 3.5. It's a game that could go either way. I'm going to look at it some more. You always look at the Astros maybe catching this price and the team totals, but right now it's just a pass.
All right, nothing wrong with that. Jose, what about you here? Houston, San Fran.
Well, here's some insight I learned from apparently on Jimmy's chat. I forgot who said it, so shout out to whoever said it. But apparently, Kevin Gausman's wife was going through a pregnancy, or she was having something going on with it the day of Gausman's last start. So I really wouldn't be surprised if that attributed to some of his I bet say I guess not success, but I could easily see that happening. So I really, really like the first 5 under here. First 5 under 4. If you can get it at 4.5, even better. Luke Murphy put out a 4.5 just now in the chat. I've got a 4 at Pinnacle right now, -107. I like that a lot today.
All right, liking the under in the first 5 here with the Astros and Giants. Final game, Colorado Rockies, San Diego Padres. John Gray, still a member of the Colorado Rockies and making the start tonight for them. Ryan Weathers, the lefty for the Padres. We've got San Diego -200 home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. Padres, just if they could play every game at Petco, they'd be in great shape. Of course, they struggled a little bit on their road trip, come back home, take 2 of 3, split with Oakland, beat Colorado in both games against the Rockies. So back on the beam here on their home field at Petco Park. Ryan Weathers on the mound for the Padres, who had really been up and down 4 starts in early June going into July. But the last 2 starts, he's been much better. He hasn't given up a run in his last 6 innings. Only went 2 innings, though, against Colorado. And then he went 4 innings and shut out the Marlins in that start. So he's not giving you a lot of length. That's the only problem. On the other side, you've got John Gray facing the Padres here. And last time he faced the Padres right here in San Diego, 1 run, 3 hits, 6 innings. And the Padres lost that game 3-1 out of the Rockies. And in fact, so it was a really good outing for Gray against the Padres there. Before that, if you rewind back to May, he faced them twice. He wasn't as successful. He gave up 11 runs, 13 hits in just 11 innings against the Padres. He had 2 really bad starts for Gray against San Diego, but he had a dominant one for Gray the most recent time that he faced the Padres. So which John Gray is it going to be tonight? I know I've backed the Padres a couple of times lately. Tonight ain't going to be one of those nights, though. I mean, they've just, they are where they are in the standings. San Diego's warming up again at home at Petco like they always do. And the Rockies, when you look at their numbers lately against lefties, they've been actually pretty good. But I think if you like the Rockies, and I'm kind of lukewarm on them, I'd probably just prefer maybe a team total. Don't worry about Gray. Don't worry about the suspect Rocky Penn. Just if you think the Rockies could score a little bit against Weathers, you could go with a Rockies team total over. I lean that direction, but it's again another game where it's old El Paso. Yours truly today on this card. A lot of El Pasos for me, and this is another one. Pass for me in the Rockies and Padres. Conor Mac, what do you think here? Colorado and San Diego.
Yeah, you nailed it. Which Gray are we gonna get? The guy that got rocked earlier just a couple weeks ago pitched so well against the Padres. I don't want him here. I've backed him a lot. Just the Padres seem to get it done at home. Even last night is kind of a boring game. They won 3-0. Padres team total, they didn't get there last night. It's 4.5 -125. I'd almost go with the run line right around even money, but it's a game I want nothing to do with. But I wanted to mention Machado 9 for 30 with 3 homers, and Will Myers 14-39 with 3 homers off Gray. So a couple jack of the day guys.
All right, yeah, under could be a good under. I agree with that. Totals wise, I would lean under a little bit here in this one. Lance LaRose saying he likes the under in our chat. Jose, what do you think here? Colorado, San Diego.
Yeah, this is a tough game. Last game on the card is always a little difficult, I think shout out to my man DX Filer, by the way, for comparing me to Nacho Libre. Thinking about this game has given me diarrhea since Easter's, and I think I'm going to put on my stretchy pants tonight, kick back and watch this game, and not bet on it. So it's a pass for me.
Yeah, I mean that's what you get with San Diego a lot. They're never going to be a price you're comfortable with them and taking them a lot of times. And Gray's been capable enough where if he does pitch well and spring an upset, it wouldn't completely shock you either. So you're in that in between space when it comes to a game like this. So yeah, that's exactly why I'm going to end up passing on it. Great stuff with Jose Bouquett and Conor Mac. As always, thanks to Jose, by the way, for joining us today. Couldn't make it yesterday. Joined us today on the special trade deadline edition of the MLB Closing Time Show. We will get to best bets and we will get to Jack of the Day in just a second. But first, as we always do at this time of the show, sponsor time, Manscaped and Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, make sure you stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke. It's all there for you at Southtown 101. Manscaped promo code PubSports, 20% off your purchase with the promo code PubSports of the Lawnmower 4.0, new and improved, as well as any other Manscaped product. You can get 20% off with the promo code PubSports. And mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. We got football season right around the corner. All three of them, NFL, college football, CFL. It's right about to begin. No better time than right now than now to sign up for mybookie.ag. Promo code PubSports, Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit. So check out mybookie.ag, promo code PubSports. All right, it has been a packed show. We did a trade deadline recap of all the big deals, went through the entire card, and now we're ready to put a bow on it with best bets. But first, Jack of the Day.
Well, see you later.
All right, let's get to it. Jack of the Day time. Let's see what we've got here today on this slate. When I look at the, I think you can go toward Bryce Harper. I'm interested in for against Will Crow for the Pirates. Jack of the Day. I think Connor mentioned a couple of those Rays, including Cruz against Perez. You could look at that for Tampa. Jack of the Day. I like Devers against Fleming. Is it a home run against him? So I like Rafael Devers as well for the Boston Red Sox. Michael Conforto as a homer against Sonny Gray, who's struggling mightily right now. I could go with that. How do we not take Joey Votto? He is red hot. And by the way, 6 for 14 and a 4.29 average against Carlos Carrasco, back from the IL tonight, and a home run against him too. It's a must. It's a must bet at this point with Joey Votto, who is unconscious right now at the plate for the Cincinnati Reds. And I'm probably going to stop there. I think you could look maybe at a couple of the Jays if they're fired up with their return to Toronto as well, but probably going to stop there. Those are the main ones I'm going to be looking at for betting tonight for Jack of the Day home run props. Conor Mac, what do you like for Jack of the Day?
Yeah, how can you not take Votto? It's crazy. Kyle Seager, he's plus 350. I'm going to take Machado. He's plus 360. I don't have numbers on Will Myers and Zunino. I'll find those out. They should be pretty good plus money. I was looking at Josh Donaldson a little bit, plus 350, and a Red Sox JD Martinez plus 400.
Yeah, that's a good point about the wind in Citi Field. That is absolutely true. It is a hard wind. Very, very, a lot of miles per hour wind blowing in tonight from left field at Citi Field. So that's why the total hasn't budged. That's the one thing I'm worried about with that total. As much as Gray's been struggling, you do have the wind conditions that are probably going to help the pitchers out a little bit. But I still think I still think the over's in play there, and despite the wind conditions, but just especially the way Gray's going, and you don't really know for sure if Carrasco's going to be lights out in his first start in over almost a year. So it's been a while since he's been on the mound. So we'll see how that goes. But it's time now for best bets. Again, not as many plays across the board. I think I increased. I said I had 4 bets before the show. I think I'm looking more toward now maybe 5 or 6, maybe a couple more I've added, but still 6 bets for me on a baseball card. That is not much compared to what I usually bet. So it's going to be a lighter card for me. Conor Mac, we'll start with you. Best bet.
Man, I don't like anything on this card today. It's ugly. Jose, you went with the Rays. the game, but
Well,
give me the full 4.5 plus 115 full game.
say that one more time, Connor. You popped in and out on us real quick there.
Red Sox team total over 4.5.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. That makes me feel better.
All right, very good. Red Sox over 4.5 team total against the Tampa Bay Rays in a big showdown tonight. Big series for first place in the AL East. So Conor Mac, Red Sox team total over 4.5, best bet. Jose Bouquett, what do you like for your best bet?
I don't like saying this because Connor, I like a lot of stuff today. Maybe a little dysfunction is what I need to survive in this gambling world. I'm gonna give out 2 today. That's how good I'm feeling. One for the haters because everyone loved how I mentioned the Mets black uniforms being a factor today. So I'm going to take the Mets, of course. I'm going to give everyone the middle finger for saying that, Met uniforms don't matter. They do. I think they do. Mets first 5 -1/2 plus 106. I like that. And I wouldn't say this is really my play, but I really like Matt Randall's taint play of the day as well. The White Sox run line today, I think they roll. So give me either one of those, but I love both. Give me the Mets first 5 -1/2 plus 106 and White Sox run line.
There you go. Mets and as well as the White Sox, which the White Sox being the run line -1.5. Best bets for Jose. I'm going to go best bets too, as in 2 best bets. Even though I don't have, they're 2 of my 6 bets I've got right now, but I'll go with 2. One side, one total. The side is going to be Seattle. First 5, even money. It's -105, -110. Seattle first 5, -0.5 a run. With Gilbert on the mound, he's been good. We know Texas, Allard struggled, and of course they've traded away so many key bats, including Gallo and other players. So Texas is selling. Seattle means business now, trying to track down Oakland for the wild card. So Seattle Mariners -0.5 a run in the first 5 for me. And the other best bet for me is going to be the Battle of Pennsylvania, the Keystone State, Phillies Pirates over 9. I think we see runs there tonight. I don't trust Velasquez. I don't trust Crow. I think we see runs in bunches there. Phillies Pirates over 9 to go with Seattle first 5 -0.5 a run for me. 2 best bets for the price of none right here on the Pub Sports Radio MLB Closing Time Show. All right, great stuff, Jose. Great stuff, Connor. Great show. We recapped all the big trades. We hope everyone enjoyed it. Over 200 live viewers. Hit the like button if you haven't already on your way out. We appreciate it. Connor and I will be back all weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific with Sharpie. David Sharp will be with us for the weekend shows, as he always is, breaking down the Saturday and Sunday MLB card. Looking forward to that. For Conor Mac, for Jose Bouquett, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night. The trade deadline is passed. It's time to make that push for the playoffs, make that push for October baseball. It's going to be a fun and exciting final 2 months of the MLB regular season, and it starts tonight. Thanks to everybody for joining us. Enjoy the games and good luck, and we will see you again tomorrow on Saturday for another edition of the MLB Closing Time Show right here on Pub Sports Radio.